Well, hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee, and today I'm going to show you how I make my pizza dough, and we're also going to make homemade pizzas to put in the freezer. And this is going to be wonderful. You're going to love the pizzas. Now, no, they don't compare to our wood-fired pizzas, but they make a darn good pizza. And when you bake these pizzas, you can just put them right into your oven from frozen, 425 degrees for anywhere from 18 to, 23, 24 minutes. And they'll be wonderful. So here we go. And I will put the recipe for this in the description box. We're going to use a tablespoon and a half of yeast. Now, I'm having the dough. I usually make about 8 to 10 dough balls out of one batch of my dough, but that's because we make pizzas for all our friends in our community. Today I'm going to show you, we're just going to do 4 pizzas, and we're going to do 4 nice large pizzas. So we're going to have this dough. I will put in the description box both half and a full batch. You can either make 8 large pizzas or 10 small pizzas with this recipe. With this, today what we're doing, you can either make 4 large or 5 small. And we're going to do 4 large. So we have our yeast in here. Now we're going to do our tablespoon and a half of sugar. You can also freeze this dough if you choose. I don't usually freeze it. I find that pizza dough, it's nice to be able to freeze it, but it can't freeze. It does not last longer than about a month in your freezer. And then it's flat. So I don't like doing that. All right. We've got our yeast, our sugar, and we are going to put 2 cups of hot water. Now we're just going to let this bloom before I put anything else in it. Okay, friends, that is bloomed and it's beautiful. And if I try to show you, I'll spill it all over my floor. But I did show you in one video how I bloom this. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of oil. And I'm just using a nice olive oil. We're going to put 4.5 cups of flour in here. Now, if you like whole wheat, you can do equal parts of whole wheat and white flour. And if you like the flatbread, you can do all wheat. It doesn't matter. There's 3. I got to keep track. I'll lose count. There's 4. And a half. All right, now most likely, because I'll always have to add, usually I have to add a little extra flour to my dough. So we're going to take this into the pantry and we're going to mix this up, and I'll be back here when this is all mixed up and ready to use. And you're also going to want it to knead for about 8 minutes, because this dough doesn't have to rise, but it does, you have to knead it. Okay, friends, this is already beautiful. Now, I'm going to put just a little bit, I'll get rid of this bowl so you'll be able to see in a minute. I'm putting a little bit of flour, and I like to use, only because of my outdoor oven, I like to use the stone ground whole wheat, because it works on my paddles or my pizza peels very nicely. Okay, this is a little bit sticky, and that's all right. We can work with it. Okay, you get it on, you just take a little bit of flour and it will come off nicely. Okay. This is Beautiful dough, friends. Absolutely gorgeous dough. Now, you can let it rise. It'll give you a nice, tender, fluffy crust. You don't have to let it rise, though. If you like thin crust, and that's what we do is thin crust here, because our family loves that. Okay? Look how soft and beautiful that dough is. Just gorgeous. I'm going to cut it in 4 pieces. All right, pretty good. Okay. Now I like to roll these in balls before I roll them out. So I just roll it in a nice ball. Just lay it on its side like this, about 3/4 of the way over, and just roll it with your fingers. If it starts sticking, put it in a little bit of flour. And it'll make a beautiful dough ball for you. Okay? I'll get these rolled up, and then we'll get to making some pizza. Beautiful. Those will be some nice sized pizzas. Okay, so we got all 4 of our dough balls done. Now remember, we don't have to let it rise. If you want a nice crust, a nice fluffy, tender crust, go ahead and lay a towel over them and let them rise till they double. But might be about an hour, and then you can punch them down and do this all over again and be up to speed with us. Okay, we're gonna roll ours out. Now what I use, these are regular pizza rounds. You can use cake rounds, I've used those before too. Or you can use, if you're just gonna do a couple of them, you can use a pizza tray, however big you're gonna make them, and freeze them and then wrap them. But I do it this way. I put a little bit of parchment paper on there so it doesn't stick, because you cannot put this in the oven, the cardboard round. But you can put the parchment paper in the oven, and it will be nice on your tray. Okay? So let's get started here. Let me get this out of the way. We don't need a whole lot. We're just gonna make a nice little circle, the start of the circle here, okay? I just keep turning it. And it doesn't always wind up being a circle, and that's okay. When we're making our pizzas in our outdoor oven, it doesn't always become a nice circle. They take on some different shapes. Okay. So now, I'm going to put a little bit of my flour on there. There. You can stretch this a little if you want. I don't fling it around. I don't want it to wind up hanging from my light in the ceiling, and that's exactly what would happen. Okay, so there is our first pizza. And it's not completely round, and it doesn't matter. We've got all our little toppings here. We've got our veggies, and on these four, we're gonna do we've got, let's see, let me set this aside here. We got pepperoni, we got bacon, we got sausage, hard salami, and a little bit of ham. So we're going to use a little bit of each on these pizzas. And we've got our own pizza sauce. Okay? We're going to get this going. This isn't my normal one, but that's all right. This is my homemade sauce too. And I make it in big containers because it stores nicely in the fridge. Just spread it around on there. Leave a little bit of an edge so you have a little bit of crust, however big or small you want it. You know what? I need my regular spoon. I can't work with that. Okay, there we go. Now I can work with this one. And this way you can put however much or little sauce you want on your pizza. Doesn't matter. Okay, friends. You can see this a little better. Now we're just going to do our cheese on here. And that's why I like making my own pizzas, because you can add however much cheese you want, however little cheese you want, whatever you want. It's all yours. Make it your own. Okay. That looks pretty good. All right, we're going to set the cheese aside. We're going to do some pepperoni on this and salami. Okay? So we're just going to lay this pepperoni out just like I would when I make them for our pizza parties. This sticks together pretty good. Sometimes I got this pepperoni, and it was on sale, and I absolutely can see why, because it's just stuck together in a big old clump, so it takes a little bit to get it apart, and that's all right. We'll get it. Okay, one goes in the middle. All right, so we got that. We're gonna do a little sausage on this one. My daughter likes hard salami, so we'll do that on the next one for her. We're going to do a few pieces of sausage on here. Beautiful. I like to put stuff to the far edge of the pizza, right where the sauce stops. Okay, that looks good. All right, so now we got mushrooms too. We're gonna put some mushrooms on here because our whole family, beside of John, with the exception of John, our whole family loves mushrooms. He's the only one. Okay. We're also going to do just a few peppers. Now my daughter, well, she doesn't eat too many of them, but whoever don't like the peppers, they can pick them off. Here we got some nice peppers. Now we're going to do a little bit of red onion. And they're in circles, so if somebody, you know, in her daycare doesn't like them, they can pick them off. And it'd be fine. All right. This is getting to be a gorgeous pizza, friends. Now, last thing is we're going to do these beautiful marinated sun-dried tomatoes. They are divine on a pizza. They're a little bit pricey, but you know what? They're so good. And you only put a few on it. A few goes a long way on your pizza. Okay, that looks. Yep, we got it everywhere. Okay, let me wash my hands, and then we'll get into the cheese. Okay, friends, now we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Okay, beautiful. And that pizza, friends, is done. And you can see how gorgeous that is. We're gonna set this aside and we'll make our others. All right. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to roll out, but that's all right. Just keep going, or else just walk away and let it rest for another 5 minutes and it should do good for you. Okay, here's our next pizza. And again, we're just gonna spread this sauce on here. I'm always using a wooden peel to spread my pizza sauce. Okay. All right. That looks good. We're going to sprinkle our cheese on this. Okay, this one is going to get the hard salami, and that's all that's going on this one. So we're going to go all the way around this pizza with this beautiful hard salami. Okay, perfect. We're going to do a little bit of mushrooms on here. You can put any toppings you want on it. And people always say, oh, I love pineapple on it. Tell me in the comments what you like on your pizza. Somebody said, oh, I want pineapple on it. And pineapple and ham, and I'm like, oh, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. I don't like pineapple on pizza, but a lot of people do, so I make them. But I wouldn't eat it. No, not for me. I like pineapple, but not on pizza. No anchovies. I don't like that on pizza either. But, you know, if somebody wanted it, bring me the anchovies. I'll put them on your pizza. But myself, I don't care for it. I like vegetables, just loaded with veggies. Light sauce, light meat, and loaded with veggies. That's what I like. And I like a few banana peppers and jalapeno peppers. Those are all good on pizza. Okay. We're just going to do a little bit of sun-dried tomatoes. Okay. I gotta wash my hands. Okay, so now we can put a little bit of cheese on top of this pizza. Just sprinkle a little bit on there. And that's it. And this one is done. And it's beautiful. Okay, friends, so I'm going to go ahead and get these last two done. And then I'll bring you back and we'll wrap them up. Okay, friends. We got our pizzas all done. And now we are going to wrap them. So when I wrap these, I start with the parchment first. And no, I don't flash freeze them at all. I start where the parchment paper can be rolled up on top of the pizza. Okay, and I just double wrap them and that's it. These will last for a few months in your freezer, but you don't want to keep them in there too long because it's not like vacuum sealed, so you don't want it to get frostbit. You don't want it to get freezer burn. But that's it. Isn't that gorgeous? How that pizza does, and we can just put it right in our freezer and it'll freeze. Beautiful. Okay. That's all there is to it. And if you had room in your freezer, turn that around. You could make a full batch and make 8 pizzas. And if you have pizza once a week or, even twice a week, you'd have pizza for a month and a half to 2 months. And that would be nice. Especially when you're busy doing a project and you don't want to take time to cook, you can just take it right out of the freezer, put it in the oven. In 25 minutes, you'll have dinner. I like to have pizza with like a side salad or our pickled veggies. It is good. Okay, we got those. We got one left. And there we have it. Isn't that nice? Let me get this put away and we'll lay out what all we did today. Well, there you have it, friends. We got 4 beautiful pizzas for the freezer. And it works wonderful for a busy night. I'll put the recipe for this in the description box and the directions to bake them in your oven. Again, you can put any toppings on you want. If you've got room in your freezer, you can make the full batch. It'll make 10 small, 8 large pizzas. Put anything you want on them. Make it your own. You all have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen, friends. And it's time to stock our freezer. I'll see you in the next video, friends. And as always, thanks for watching.